Don't offer your hens these things. Raw green potato peels because they contain solanine. That's not good for them, or you and me. It's not good. Any foods with high salt content, dried or undercooked beans, avocado skin or pit. Citrus, though this is still being debated because in the warmer climates, like in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Texas, you have feral chickens, wild chickens. And I'm sure that they eat citrus. You know, they're probably very healthy for it too. Don't feed your chickens raw eggs because you don't want them to get the taste of it, right? You don't want them to lay an egg and then turn around and go, ooh, yum. And because what happens is they do that and then you can't stop them from doing that, okay? And they'll just eat the whole dang thing, shell and all. Yeah, if you let them do that. So that's why I always recommend timely egg gathering too. Don't let your eggs just sit in the box. Also, no candy, chocolate, or sugar because it'll rot their teeth. Right, thank you. My attempt at humor. Chickens don't have teeth. They don't have teeth. But their DNA is the closest to dinosaurs. So that's why when I got Bravo Company, that was my second group of chickens, my kids named them all dinosaur names. So, yeah, they don't have teeth. They have little barbs on their tongue, and they ingest their food, and then it goes down into the crop, and they use grit, oyster shell, whatever they have in there to help digest it, and some enzymes of their own making. And then it goes, do you know where it goes next? How many of you are fond of eating gizzards? Okay, okay. Yeah, that's where it goes next. So sometimes you got to clean out those gizzards because sometimes that grit makes it into the gizzards. And then it goes through the intestinal tract. Yes?
And when do you usually start giving them the grit?
Good question. She asked, when do you usually start giving them the grit? Here's the thing. If you're feeding them a quality manufactured food, which of course you can get here at D&B, they should be able to pick up a lot of sand and rock and dirt in your yard. But if you notice that they're having a difficult time digesting, you just put a little grit, and I have some up here, in a rabbit feeder, just like this, okay? Put it in here and just hang it inside the coop. And then they have grit available to them. Grit's really cheap, and so is oyster shell. Oyster shell is giving them added calcium, okay? And that makes their eggshells a little bit harder, okay? If you notice that the eggshells are really soft, give them a little more calcium. But I think if you're feeding them a quality manufactured food, they should get all the calcium that they need. The other thing you have to consider is when you're feeding them the food that you purchase and then you free range them in your yard, that's going to dilute the protein that they're getting from the manufactured food, unless they're going hog wild on the spiders and worms and bugs, right? High in protein. So it's all kind of like this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're getting about 16%, pretty sure. Yeah, garden season is upon us, although aren't you waiting for the other shoe to drop? It's gonna freeze here soon. Let's just go real quickly. This is what I have. This is not my garden, but this is the kind of setup I have, where I just get some green fencing and bamboo stakes, and I put fencing all around my gardens, even with just one chicken, because she will make a salad, mincemeat, out of my anything new. The tender greens, she's all over it, so I have to keep her out. And this does the job. And it's like, I wanted to say I bought 4 feet, and I actually cut it in half, so it's just 2 feet. And she doesn't fly over it. She's not that smart. I think she's smart, but she's not that smart. Or you can do something really elaborate like that. The water can get in, the sun can get in, but the chickens can't. Or something mega, a chicken moat. Woo! See, they just travel all around. The garden's in here. The chickens are in here. Here's the idea. There's the hen house, and they do this. And they act as sentries to all the bugs and icky things that want to get in the garden, right? Isn't that awesome? And look, the chicken underpass. They call it a chunnel, a chicken underpass, chicken tunnel. Yeah, I thought that was fantastic. That's if you have a big garden and, and it's a good way to keep your chickens. So cooping's the biggest thing you'll do for your hens, okay? At 6 to 8 weeks, which you have plenty of time now to get your baby chicks now and brood them and then figure out your cooping situation. I always recommend build the largest coop and the largest run that you can. You won't be sorry. that you're able to, affordability wise and handyman wise, okay? Because then you can just load up the food and the water and you can go away for a couple days, right? So, how much space? Remember these numbers. 1 chicken, 4 square feet in the coop, okay? 1 chicken, 8 square feet in the run. The anatomy of the coop, this is the coop part right here. This is the run. And this run, this was my first coop. And it's, they say that you can have 5 to 8 birds in this. Really small. Although I did have 11 in there at one time. But they free range in the yard, right? They just cozy up on the inside and they would free range during the day. And as you'll notice, you can kind of see some daylight right through there. I've got a big window here. There's a door right there and a walk-up right there. And then under this corrugated roof, there's an air channel as well. Ventilation in your coop is more important than insulation, okay? You got to keep them out of the wind, but you want it ventilated. You never want to go in your coop and smell any ammonia smell or have it be humid, especially in the wintertime, because what will happen in the wintertime is that humidity will attach itself to the combs and the wattles, those things that hang down here, these little guys right here, and the toes, and that's when your chickens get frostbite, okay? I teach a wintering hens class because a lot of people freak out. Oh, it's winter, what am I gonna do with my girls? I gotta bring them inside. You don't need to do that. They actually do all right, but there's a couple things you need to learn about. And so.
Is that ideal for what, 2 or 3 then?
If you were always keeping them in this run, exactly. He asked if it's ideal for 2 or 3 hens. And at one point when I got busted, I rehomed all my girls, and then everybody, the kids missed the chickens. I missed the chickens, my husband missed the chickens. We all grew very fond of them. So we moved this to the other side of the property and got them back. And I only kept 3 because we just kept them in there so that they wouldn't cause a problem. And then I got busted again, so. So I got rid of that. And then for Mother's Day, I said, I want a coop hiding in plain sight. And we did it. And I'll pass around a picture of it here in just a sec. So 4 and 8, right? 4 square feet inside, 8 square feet in the run, if that's where you're keeping your chickens. Nesting boxes, again, 1 nest box per 4 chickens. I taught a class out in at Lizard Butte Library, you know, way out. Do y'all know where that is? It's way out. It's out on Sunny Slope. So they said, can you come teach a class? I said, yeah, where are you? Lizard Butte, it's out by the wineries. Yeah, it's pretty out there. And one guy had just built his coop, and he put in 12 nest boxes for all 12 chickens. And I thought, oh, you're so thoughtful. He was. I mean, that's so thoughtful of a guy to do that. But really, your girls, and those of you who have chickens will say, exactly. You'll have 4 nest boxes. They'll prefer 1 nest box. They'll always go to 1 nest box. And if 1 is in it, one will waddle up the stairs and look at her and go, like, get the hell out of there. I'm ready to lay my egg. And so sometimes you'll find both 2 chickens in 1 nest box. I can talk chicken. I had chickens. Really, I mean, it was the 70s. There wasn't anything on TV, so I was in talking to the chickens. So let's see, run size, proximity to neighbors. Whenever I do a site visit, and I do a lot of them where I'll go out and people will say, where should I put my coop? First thing I say is don't put it anywhere it's going to be sprinkled, like watered, okay? That's really important. And then which side are your nicest neighbors? You know, that's the better thing to do because we moved it over to the nice neighbor who likes taking care of chickens. So, and try to keep it away from them a little bit if you can. And I like putting mine in a northern area where it's more shaded. Again, chickens can withstand cool temperatures better than our heat, you know, our crazy heat, right? Bedding. What do I put on the ground? What do I put in their coop? I like straw, it's cheap. I like pine shavings, it's cheap and goes a long way. The thing about pine shavings, I think they meld better into the garden. I can put them into my composter and they just work better in my garden. So I go on both. In the summertime with this one, what we used to do is mow the lawn. and I would put grass clippings in there. But here's the deal, and thankfully, D&B has natural products here. If you have a lawn program and you're putting stuff on your lawn, make sure whatever you put on your lawn is natural, okay? Because your chickens are going to ingest everything that's out there if you free range your girls, right? Just a real quick story. The reason why I say this is in 2010, Backyard Chickens got a black eye because some kids got sick in Salt Lake. The little girls ended up in the hospital with high levels of arsenic in their urine. And the parents tested positive for it as well. And they found out that it was coming from the chickens. And the parents couldn't figure out how it happened. And then finally it was discovered that the dude, the father, picked up some ironite from like Lowe's or Home Depot to green up his lawn, right? That's what you use it for. Most ironite product comes from the Superfund cleanup sites. It's a byproduct from the Superfund cleanup sites. And that's mining sites. And what do they use in mining? Arsenic. Yeah, arsenic. So that really hits at home. Be aware, if you're going to free range your girls, be aware of what you're putting in your yard, okay? You don't want to get sick and you don't want your chickens to get sick.